Ding ding. The day is done. So, found some resistance there on that breakup to test the 48.15 level. ES was rejected there. I'll probably see the shed some of that zero DTE hedge in after hours here. We have Japanese inflation tonight. I really don't know how that's going to hit, but the dollar's slumped a little bit below 103.50 right now. Depending on the effect there, we may see the dollar push back up in the overnight trading session. Yields at the top end of the curve all up again today. The 10-year just below 4.15, the 20-year just below 4.5, and the 30-year just below 4.4. I think we're going to continue to see more and more banks lean into the carry trade as we get more and more information. We're unlikely to see the early rate cuts that the market is expecting. And as those are priced out, financial conditions will start to tighten again. It's going to take a little bit of time, but I think we're going to see some of the realization of that over the next few weeks. Gold's up a little bit today. Oil up quite a bit today. VIX 3-month and VIX down along with VIX futures. So we saw a decent amount of volatility shorting. Although VIX still above 14, so quite high. You generally see VIX decline into the end of the week, pick up into the new week. So we may see more volatility shorting tomorrow, but we have a ton of gamma falling off of the chain with the AM expiry, and that's going to open up a lot of range. And given that most of that gamma is like sold calls and sold puts, and some shorter dated bought calls, I think overall the net effect will be bearish. But we do not have a lot of charm, and so we don't really have those Friday supportive flows like we usually do. Usually SPXW has a lot more interest. We'll see tonight how much that's grown today, but I don't expect it's grown very much. So I think the downside's still a little bit more slippery. We're likely to see gamma neutral move up, probably above the 47.50 range, up towards 47.60 on the monthly, and then we'll probably see, or on the weekly contracts, and on the monthly contracts we'll probably see gamma neutral move closer to 47.50. Right now it's at like 45. I don't think we're seeing any reversal in that trend. That's probably going to continue for some time. Obviously tomorrow morning an open below 4800 starts to put us back in that bearish range, but we'd probably like to see it drop more in the early part of the day. We have Michigan consumer tomorrow, and I think that's about it. Existing home sales and Michigan consumer. Later in the day, we've got Barr speaking at 1 o'clock, and then we've got some stuff in the aftermarket close tomorrow with long-term tick flows and net capital flows, and a daily speaking over the weekend. Ooh, we also have German PPI at 2 a.m. and British retail sales. So both of those could have a big effect. If German PPI is continuing down, we may see that harm the euro. British retail sales, well, not as significant as China's, could have some effect. Lagarde is also speaking at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning before market open. So a little bit of international stuff overnight might the dollar, but nothing major. Japan is probably, the Japanese data is probably more important. Unless we see like PPI costs in Germany rocket or something, which we shouldn't, because they've been seeing deflation in that sector for some time now. Oh, you flatter us. UK sales, LOL, ascot mommy. As far as the rest of the stuff today, I mean, Tesla still had a pretty bad day. Continued down, stayed below, delta neutral, no bounce back. Friday is always a tricky day with Tesla. Bulls like to buy the out of it, so maybe we'll see a bounce back towards delta neutral tomorrow on that. I mean, QQQ's kind of run the gamut today. I think it broke an all-time high. Maybe not a lot left there to pump, and honestly, like, even though Dow and Russell recovered, they didn't recover that much today. And I don't see a pump in breadth protecting the upside here. Broad commodities up a little bit today. I know BT ran today about 10% on news that it's being added to the mid cap S&P index, or the small cap S&P index. So that was cool. Dollar's still struggling with that 103.50 level, although I do expect it to continue breaking higher. Then we'd be looking at 104, 105. and a continuation of that, but a little bit of a pullback into the end of today. Yields, however, did not pull back very much. Generally, when we see a drop in the dollar, the drop in yields is a little bit more severe, and we even now we still continue to see yields moving up. Correlation turned back a little bit, but not very much. Carry trades still being leaned on pretty heavily, and the forward return on volatility is moving closer and closer to positive, especially as the yield curve and credit conditions tighten here. Move, that's not updated yet. This is a little weird. Skew's been rocketing, but VIX has also been going up, and that's odd. So we've got a rise in volatility, but less of a demand for tail risk hedging. So shorting vol into vol demand, it's risky, right? Obviously, the more skew goes up, the greater chance there is for a tail event to occur. It increases the probability of 1, 2, 3 sigma moves. The higher it is. So that's that's kind of spiking pretty hard. Lastly, we've got our cash VIX futures correlation here, and we're looking at 42.25% today, so a little bump up from yesterday's negative 41%. This is statistically relevant divergence, and also over the rolling period that we measure, the greatest divergence in the history of the VIX. I'm sure that doesn't mean anything, right? Anyway, that's about it. Oh, nat gas got shit on today really hard, which probably helped the drop in volatility, honestly. Don't play nat gas. It'll fuck you up. That's all. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. I'll have Pickles Picks out tonight, and I will see you guys tomorrow for 0 DTE Day, the best day of the week. Later, guys.